I take responsibility for the circumstances that put me in this chair today. I was accused of indecent behavior, and I apologize to the victim in this case, if there is any. I have served more than 2.5 years already in prison with no write-ups, no fights, no drugs. I'm a man of deep faith. My father left my mother before I was born, and because our deep poverty, I had to work hard almost all my childhood. Uh, but I wanted to give better opportunities to my siblings and a better life to my mother and grandparents. So I came to the United States trying to pursue those dreams by working hard almost every day from 7 a.m. to sunset and resting on Saturdays. So I could attend to church where I was a very active member and elder for many years. So I can say that I always wanted to do is provide for my family, improve myself, and help others. In prison, I have had no access to any programs yet, classes or services that will help me to improve, or at least not in my current facility yet. But I'm anxious to show you, also to show my family, my friends, and the world that I can confidently, with God's help, fulfill the requirements of a parole if it's granted to me. I will not commit any crimes. I'm a very responsible and reliable person. I have a plan. I also have a strong support from my family, my friends, and community. I have also offers of employment, and I have also a place to stay. And also, of course, I have my wife and a loving family that need me and support me. And I love them and need them too. In fact, I should mention that two of my stepchildren still need my help and financial support. And for that, my wife, who is on the screen right now, she has been working too many hours, driving from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and sometimes to 11 p.m. And just taking a little break around 2 to come home to eat and take care of the house and then go back to work. And I'm asking just for the opportunity to pick up the remainings of my family's life so I can put them together because I still got the dream of being there for them and to succeed in life and also to provide for my mother and my grandmother, who both are widows at this point. If all of this requires my deportation, I also make the commitment of never coming back to the United States. And even though my wife and children, they're American citizens, I will in fact bring them with me if necessary. But if I'm allowed to stay, I will use this bitter experience I'm having in prison to teach and encourage others uh, to respect the law and to respect others so they don't have to come to prison and learn it the hard way. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for your time, and God bless you. God bless your families.
Okay. Uh, we'll move into folks that will move. Let's talk to the lieutenant first. Lieutenant, do you have anything to tell us about?
Lieutenant, she left.
She left, huh? Well, we'll give her that's okay. We'll give her an opportunity in a few minutes. Let's move on to the supporters. Let's talk to your stepdaughter.
Yes.
Who I don't have a name here. She's with your wife. Would she talk to us first and introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is, can you guys hear me? My name is Adelina Villatoro. I am the stepdaughter of Javier Ribon Bautista. And this morning, my mom wanted to speak on his behalf, but I asked for the opportunity to speak for our family. I am here today to speak about the man that my dad is. From the moment Javier came into my life, I learned the true definition of hope. He never tried to replace my biological father or who is not present in my life currently, but instead he came with love, compassion, humility, and he not only showed up with words, but through consistent actions. He has been present in my life for about 10 to 11 years. And he came in as a person who would change my life and my family's life for the better. And he's a godly man, and I am a witness of his whenever he served at church. He was the one who actually introduced us to Christianity. And through him, we were able to learn what love is, kindness is, and patience. And although we are not related by blood, Javier has been the father figure that I've never had in my life. And by that, he has truly earned that title in my life. He has been a provider for me since day one, and my family needs him now more than ever. And today, I truly hope that you can see the man that I've had the privilege to have met and the loving father that he has been for me and for my brother as well. My mom wanted to share a message, and she says that if Javier is released, he has a stable home with us and a job waiting for him. I have stood by his side, and I need him back with our family so we can continue raising our children together and remain the strong, united family we have built together. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We appreciate any comments about that. Where you say you got a home, where was that home going to be?
Yes, I had to move to, I'm sorry, my name is Ribon. I'm Javier's wife. And because of my health, I had to move to Texas. I live in Houston, Texas now, and we have a home where if he's able to be released, he's gonna come with us and live with us.
Okay, if he's got a deportation order, if he's
Yes.
here, if he's here illegally, how do you think he's going to live in Texas?
Yes, I understand. I know if he's going to be deported, like he said, because I love Javier. I've always been by his side, and we're willing to move and have a family in Mexico because we want our family together. You know, I want to raise my kids with him. He's been a supporter from, my kids, my daughter, she was 5 when he met her, and I have never complained. He has always helped me, and I'm nervous. That's why I'm stuttering. Forgive me.
We appreciate the word. I just had to ask that question. Okay, we'll move on now. Thank you for everything y'all said. Take that into consideration. We'll move on now to the pastor, Patricia Costa. Is that saying that right? The Reverend Costa.
Hello, I am Patty Costa. My husband is Javier Ribon's pastor, and I am here representing my husband this morning. He had another commitment prior to this meeting, but I would like to say that during the last 3 years, Javier has been an outstanding member of our congregation. And not only have we ministered to him during the time he was present in our church, but during the time he was incarcerated, we exchanged letters on a monthly or bi-monthly.
Okay, we lost you, I believe. Okay, we'll try to get back in touch with her. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on then for now. And
You're gonna ask the.
Mr. Parole, Jonathan Parole.
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Parole, yeah.
Yes, sir. Would you approach the podium and introduce yourself and tell us what you know?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you today.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jonathan Parole. I used to work at the Times-Picayune. I live in Metairie now, and I've known Javier for a long time, more than 10 years, probably closer to 15 years. I met him through a roofer that I know, and Javier is in the roofing business and has worked for many roofers across the Gulf South. I just want to make sure you got the packages I put together. There's about 30 letters that people, okay.
Yes, sir, we've got them all.
Okay, great. And Javier and I have worked together for a long time. I own property in New Orleans. He and I have been up on roofs together. I trust this man with my life. So I'm here on his behalf, and I'm also here on behalf of a large community of people who know and love this man. And we're hoping that he will grant him parole. In helping him, I met people from all over the country who know him through church and through work, and all of them have nothing but incredibly good things to say about him. Now, I realize that this isn't really the purpose of the parole hearing. I understand that he pleaded guilty to a serious crime. It's a little complicated. I know you see there's no opposition here today, but really, there's a reason for that. And I put a lot of effort into trying to help this guy, and I don't step out for just anyone. So this is really important to me. I'm just his friend. But there's a lot of people in New Orleans right now watching on Zoom, a lot of people who couldn't make it up here. I had 3 or 4 people who were gonna come, one's in the hospital, and so that kind of thing. Sully, his wife, remains very devoted to him more than anyone. And she needs his support. He's a very supportive, very hardworking, very moral, very honest man. And he has been swept up in the justice system and swept under the rug, and he hasn't had a voice. And that's why I'm so passionate about being here. So that package I sent you has a lot of letters. It has people offering him jobs and offering him housing. And I know that's part of what you're looking for. I know you're looking for deep remorse and a lot of classes. I've watched a lot of your YouTube videos from parole hearings. I understand that he hasn't had the opportunity to do the classes, and I know he would have. I talk to him almost every day on the phone. So I think he's in a tight situation, and I think that even though it's not completely up your alley, I think you're in a position to help him. And I think his community is in a huge position to help him. If you do grant him parole, I think they're behind him 100%. I know he's probably gonna get deported, but they're still behind him 100%. And it's just a life that I feel is important to try to help. He's a first-time offender. He has no write-ups. He doesn't get in fights. He doesn't do drugs. He's very religious. He's been trying to get moved into a faith-based dormitory, but instead he's been sleeping on the floor and suffering. But anyway, there was another guy who was gonna come today. His name is Leroy McIntyre Jr. He's a Mississippi businessman. He has 2 paragraphs he just asked me to read, and I think they sum up a little bit of what all those letters.
Okay, if you'll conclude with those.
Okay, yeah, I'll conclude with this. I'm sorry. He says, "My name is Leroy McIntyre Jr. I regret I'm unable to attend today, but I don't want this hearing to pass without voicing my full support of parole for Javier. I've known him for more than 20 years. He's worked for me on and off as a roofer during that time, always dependable, always honest, never once had an issue with him. He's not just a good worker, he's a good man. His faith, his work ethic, and his character have always stood out. If released, I'm committed to helping him transition back through job opportunities and personal support. I don't believe Javier poses any risk to society. On the contrary, I believe his release would benefit his family, his children, and community." So those are the themes that are echoed in those letters. Please take those into consideration. Javier is a good man, and we're just
Yes,
hoping that you grant him parole today. Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you for your words.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Lieutenant, I see you've gotten back into the room. Would you tell us, do you know anything that will help us as far as his disciplines, work ethic, attitude, behavior, anything you can help us with?
No, sir. He's been fine here. We've not had any issues.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, he says that he has not been able to get any of the classes he needs. Is that true? And then,
I was just informed this morning by our DOC lady, Miss Stevenson, that they were told that they cannot be put in any classes.
why is that?
I do not know, ma'am. That's by DOC. You'll have to get with Miss Stevenson on that. She can probably explain that better than I can. I just do the Zoom court, ma'am.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Well, sir, your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton, and she's going to ask some questions. And Mr. Tillis and I will follow up with any questions we might have, and then we'll vote and decide what your outcome is going to be today.
Okay. Well, you do have a great amount of support, and you pronounce your last name Batista.
Ribon Bautista.
Oh, well, how about if I just call you Javier?
That sounds good.
Javier? Okay. And so I've read the package, but it starts off with, I'm going to talk about the victim, okay? And the crime. So it starts off with just one sentence in it is, his biggest mistake was crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. His second was pleading guilty to indecent behavior with a juvenile. Javier deeply regrets both. Okay, so now what I have here is that the indecent behavior with a juvenile was a plea bargain for molestation of the juvenile. And this all took place, and it's actually another word for it is child sexual abuse between her ages of 8 and 11, where you were renting a room with her father, who was your best friend, and all of this took place. You want to tell me what happened?
Yes. Basically, yes, I was renting a place from this person. I don't know if all this will matter, but we have a history in our families that goes back from Mexico. I've been knowing this family for many, many years. And this person, the father who first called the police on me, he owed me some money. I used to do good back then, and I wasn't married yet. And he asked me for money, and he knew that I was in and out from the state because I used to work in Mississippi, Alabama, or Florida, doing roofing jobs. And at some point, he borrowed me money, and about 2 months passed. I didn't receive my money, but I told to him, and he offered me a room because he knew I was looking for one. And he was living there by himself. He has nobody living in there. And one day that it was on a Monday that I used to leave for work. Then I knew that they accused me of something, and I wasn't there to say anything. In fact, they make it look like I fled the place, but I just was out of the state. And I got many witnesses that I used to work like that all the time. And basically all that they was put together. And when the time came, whenever I was brought to prison, that happened in 2014, according to the paperwork. And when I was trying to fly to Mexico to visit my family, then I was arrested, and that's when they notified me that I had that problem. I didn't know I had that problem. But at the end, I pleaded guilty because they pressured me. I rejected the plea, not one, but many times. And they just keep pushing me. And I pleaded guilty because of pressure. And also because they use my family to put pressure on me. I just couldn't stand watching my wife crying in front of me, and they break me like that. So that's why I pleaded guilty to something that I didn't commit, and that's why I'm here, and I I spent all my money in lawyers that don't wanted to help me, and the part that hurt me most it is that I'm sorry. I watch so many people with many more charges being defended by the same lawyers I had that did nothing for me. And these people within 2 months, they got their problems solved, they got out, and for me they didn't even try to clarify what happened. And I'm sorry, I cannot this anymore. I cannot I cannot know anymore about the struggles my wife is having all this time, but trying to keep the family together. And that's why the letter is right. I regret of pleading guilty of something I didn't commit. They treat me like I was guilty no matter what. I had no chance. I can say many things about the case, but how I can defend myself about something I didn't commit.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see where, that it was 2014 and, she was brought to the Child Advocacy Center. And, all of this was disclosed. The Child Advocacy Center, they talk to children and they're experts in interviewing for, sexual abuse and just different things like that. They're social workers. And so that was the right place to do that with a child.
Yes.
And she did say that these things happen between the ages of 8 and 11, and you're saying she lied.
Yes, even the father testified. The father says, and that is on paper, he doesn't believe that occurred, and there are facts, man. At first, this family they wanted me to stay away from them because that way they will keep my money, and that way they don't want it to. I mean, that way they don't have to pay me. Um, but not just that. They closed a case, as I remember in the records, they closed a case, but they came 5 years later accusing me of something worse, terrible. And the medical record shows that that never happened. And I see a lot of things that I was accused of that the medical records prove otherwise. And that's why I've been saying this, but I don't know why my lawyers never tried to prove this. Why, if they had the medical records and all that, they never, then they don't even try to use it to try to defend me or something.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, I understand now that you would have taken the programs if you could have taken the programs.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's beyond your ability to control. Normally from the DA's office, the ADA, Mr. Randall Myers appears and he speaks for the DA's office. And you have complete opposition with the judge and the sheriff and the AG and the Kenner police. But the DA's office sent his letter, which is their position on what happened. So I'm going to read it. It's 3 paragraphs. So you'll hear what Mr. Meyer would have said had he been here. Okay.
Okay.
The facts and the circumstances which led to the conviction of the above referenced inmate have been reviewed by my office for the July 24th, 2025 meeting on the committee of Parole, and that's you, Mr. Javier Bautista. We are strongly opposed to the early release of Mr. Bautista. He is a 39-year-old first felony offender who pled guilty to indecent behavior with a juvenile and was sentenced to 7 years at hard labor. The facts show Mr. Batista kissed and fondled the 11-year-old daughter of his friend with whom he lived. The girl reported the incident to her mother, which resulted in an investigation. There is an allegation Mr. Batista raped the girl when she was 8 years old. In the instant offense, Mr. Batista kissed and fondled the victim. He was 39 years old at the time of the offense. Mr. Batista pled guilty to indecent behavior with the juvenile and was sentenced in 2024 to 7 years. Now, this goes to where you haven't been able. Mr. Batiste has very limited programming. He has not taken pre-release substance abuse education or sex offender programs. His static 99 shows he is a sex offender moderate risk. There is outstanding immigration detainer for Mr. Batista. Further, the victim struggles with opposition, but definitely wants him to have no contact with her. According to his request, the parole should be denied. So the victim, she talks about that her innocence was taken away and it made it extremely difficult for her to have a safe and calm childhood because of what happened. And she does go on to say, I would also like a no contact restriction or restraining order should you be released. But of course, with the detainer, if you're sent back to Mexico, that would be the case. You can speak as you want to speak.
Yes, ma'am. If they bring in all that, so do you have access to the medical records there on paper that prove otherwise that they are lying? Because they taking statements from people that are supposed to be professionals in their fields, and the same people that took all these arguments and approve them, they're the same people that have the proofs that this person was still a virgin at the age they say.
Well, you wasn't charged with rape, remember? They went back to the fondling, and so you were charged with that. You were not charged with aggravated rape.
Yes, but why will they try to accuse me of something worse?
Well, they didn't charge you for it, but we're not going to retry the case.
Yes.
We're just here for, what we have, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you heard what law enforcement has to say, you heard what the victim says, and so, and you have extreme law enforcement opposition. So that's all my questions today.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions?
Yeah. How long did you live with this man?
For less than a month. Less than a month.
You lived with him less than a month?
Not with them, with him. He
With
had
him?
nobody living in the house. This family was separate, like this man and his wife, they split out, they divorced. There was nobody living in the house. It was just himself. In fact, the house could not have more people. It had barely 2 small rooms. Sadly, those years, the lawyers didn't even try to investigate, and there are many things that are not true in those statements.
Okay, you lived with him less than a month.
Yes.
And I see where they said this was going on between the girl's age of 8 and 11.
According to the documents I read, is about 11. Yes.
Well, they said between 8 and 11, 8 years old and 11. So how long did you know the young lady?
I don't. Well, can I at least know the name? Because I remember they had 3 children. All they did is refer to the accuser as J. Falcon, but I don't know which one is. I don't even know the name.
So what I'm asking is, it stated that this was going on between her age of 8 and 11. So how long did you know her, or how long did you know the name? If you only lived with this guy 1 month.
Yes. I've been knowing the family for, let's say, probably 33 years.
30 years?
Yes.
Or you know the little girl for a long time? The family?
No, I never got in touch with them until I got to live in New Orleans, and that was probably uh one, two, like 4 years before that date of 2014. I moved to New Orleans to work.
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you was, who pressured you into confessing?
The lawyer and also the judge. I rejected the offer. I wanted to go to trial, and they just kept pushing me. They kept pushing me. They didn't. I don't wanted to play guilty. I wanted to go to trial, and they just kept pushing me, and they
Your
put pressure on my wife.
your attorney pressured you into doing that?
Yes, of course, all that will not be, they don't do it in open court, but the part that the judge himself, when I rejected the plea, he said that in public and tried to break me, and he said that if I didn't plead guilty, they will give me a max, and they will give me from 25 to 99. He will make sure I get the 99. So
Okay. Let me ask his wife a question.
Yes.
Did they pressure your husband, in your opinion?
Yes, I was gonna ask for a word to speak on that day because I was the one paying the lawyer. And to be honest, that day prior the day before, the lawyer talked to Javier in jail to ask if he was gonna plead guilty. And Javier told the lawyer no. He even told me, Javier told me, no, I'm not gonna plead guilty. I wanna go to trial, you know? And the day of the court date, Javier called me early in the morning while I was on my way to court. And I asked him again, I said, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm not pleading guilty. So I said, okay, I'm going to support you through everything. When I got to court, the attorney took me outside of the courtroom and he asked me, what's going to happen, right? What did Javier told me? And I said, Javier is not going to plead guilty. And he said, okay, when it was Javier's turn to see the judge, and he asked if he accepted the plea deal. The attorney told the judge he didn't accept the plea deal. Okay. And this is what happened. I was there, and the attorney told the judge for the judge to speak with Javier. So the judge said, okay, sit down and I'll talk, I will see uh, the other cases, and then I'll come back to you again. So the attorney took me back again, back up the courtroom, and told me, he said, do you understand if he's found guilty, he's gonna face 50, 60 years. That's the maximum, the judge is gonna give him. So when he told me that, I start crying. My feelings are, like I don't want to see my husband 50, 60 years in jail, you know?
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
Okay. We have a request for an executive session.
I second.
It's a motion and a second for executive session, and I concur. So that'll take care of the vote.
Prater,
Yes.
Tillis,
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be in a brief executive session, and All right, the time is 9:46 in the morning. Could I have a motion to come back into regular session from executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, and I concur, therefore we don't need to vote, I don't think, because we all took part in it. So we're back into regular session right now. It's 9:46 in the morning, and I think we've had all the questions answered. Can you hear okay? I see you doing your ear.
I have hearing issues.
Do you have your earphones?
Yes, I'm connected.
Okay, take your time. You need to hear this.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, your case has been Miss Stapleton, assigned to her, so she's the first to vote.
Okay, Mr. Bautista, I'm gonna vote to deny your parole based upon the information that I've received from law enforcement DA. You have extreme law enforcement opposition from the judge, the sheriff, the AG's office, the Kenner Police, and the DA, as you know, based upon the victim statements. So that's gonna be my vote today.
Okay,
My vote's a grant.
okay, we have one grant and one deny, and of course you have to have unanimous in order to get it. So you did not get your parole today. So at the time is 9:47 in the morning. And I also, just for the record, because you need to know, I also don't think that you've done enough time on what you pled guilty to. And please understand, our job is not to retry the case or determine if you were pressured. That's up to the district court and the appellate courts and eventually the Supreme Court. Our job is to deal with what you pled to. And you pled to a very serious crime just roughly 2 years ago, or a year and something ago, and you got 7-year sentence. And I don't think you've done enough of what you pled to. So your case, your parole has been denied, I'm sorry to say, and I wish you luck. And we will try to get you somewhere that possibly some courses will be offered where you can start taking some courses. At 9:48 this morning, your parole has been denied.
Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit subscribe for new videos every week.